I'm doing my favorite stretches for lats. This is a money stretch for you guys to do. Get your band. Put your arms like this. Get up over top of your bicep. Both sides. Keep it even. Put your hands on your side like you're doing a lat spread. So you can do like this if you want. Make the fists like this. Put it on your back, or you can do this. But I like doing like this. Hands are gonna be flush on my side. My thumb's gonna do this. It's not gonna open up. It's gonna stay stuck to my hand like this. I'm using this to anchor on my, basically like my tailbone area. And I'm gonna let it pull me like this. And then I can literally just sit here and let the, ooh.
It does look like it feels good.
It feels great. So I'm gonna kind of take a deep breath in, expand, and then I can even get my chest up. Now it'll help me just stretch a little more, flex into it, and then walk out ever so slightly. If you walk out fast, this is gonna pull your arm right out. So let it roll. You can bend a bit, open up, lean side to side. You'll feel like you feel your scaps opening right up. And then that's what I love to do.
So for people who just got in, he's just demonstrating a way to stretch your lats right now. But feel free to start asking questions whenever. And don't encourage Johnny to do a backflip right now. He can do one, but probably not in the gym.
What? Supposed to do that?
Someone said, Johnny, do a backflip. Do a flip.
Imagine. Oh. So ask away, guys. Ask away. Did someone actually ask me to do a backflip?
So, no, they told you to. So, John, do a backflip. There was one that says, show me something cool, too.
Or I'm stretching my chest and shoulders. So like a way to open yourself up. And you can put some tension on. So I'm letting it pull me back here, and then chest is up. Let's pull back even more. Get a nice stretch of my bicep and my shoulder. Then I'm gonna put tension on, try and pull it in a bit, just to help open up a bit, and then let it pull me in deeper. And I can get down deeper into it. Another stretch you can do. Oof, that feels good. No one asked yet?
Not yet. Okay.
Pretty late. Usually I put a post up in the community. I'm doing a live, but I've been doing lives for the last. YouTube was like, yo, we're gonna start emphasizing YouTube lives. They send it to all creators who are on YouTube. So like, you know what, I'm gonna do that. So I've been doing it ever since. It's been about a couple months.
Hello, Johnny. How much protein and calories do you go for daily these days? Thank you. That's Wesley.
Protein for me, I try to get, what?
Wesley Snipes.
Nice. Protein for me, I try to get in around at least 200 grams. I weigh 210 pounds right now. So it has decreased, and I've done it on purpose actually. And then I'm eating around 3,000 calories. That's all. So yeah.
Hello, Johnny. As track and field sprinter, do you have some tips for stretches or warm-up routine? Thanks for the tips.
Wow. Okay, cool.
Sprinters, yeah, sprinter warm-up and stretching.
So you could do dynamic warm-up. So like you could do just like A's, skips, and then you could do B's. Stride. You could do your hurdle stretch for your hamstrings. So basically walk and up and stretch here, leaning forward. You could do your lunge, your walking, basically. Open up, sit down, and open yourself up, and do those. What else? You can do hip swings, stuff like that. Also gets kind of loosen your hips up. You do B's, your butt kicks, right for your hamstrings from the side. I don't know if you've seen that, but just basically make sure your butt's, you're kicking your ass. Keep your chest up, a little bit of lean. Try those to start. There's a bunch of dynamic warm-ups you can do to start get your body loosened up first, and then you would gradually progress into like little starts from like a 10, maybe then 20, then build up to your max sprint.
What's your best tip for growing the inner chest and overall getting a fuller chest?
Y'all missed my video on Saturday?
Must have.
Y'all missed my video on Saturday. So
Gregory, there was a video that just went out.
yeah, I put a video on Saturday. Basically, like, on Saturday, a couple days ago. Might have been on Wednesday. Guys, I put videos out Monday to Saturday. So every day, it's either gonna be a live on Monday, then it'll be some type of video, talking head or demo from Tuesday to Saturday. I did a video on that. Anyway, so the point of the video basically was giving you exercise that you can emphasize that, but the biggest point is when you look at where our chest muscles are anchored, in a sense, it's anchored here on your sternum, most of it, right? Sternum, your clavicle area, and then your intercostal, right? So from here, it's basically the majority of your chest is anchored on your sternum. And then it all connects to the same spot, basically on your arm, to pull your arm in like this, or like this. So when you look at, if we want to really build inside here, we really can't target here, but if we want to get the fullness out of each rep, we want to make sure that we're stretching everything back so we're getting this thing basically stretched. So if you looked at it like, if I had so let's pretend like this is my chest, one of my chest fibers, one big ass piece of rubber band, basically, right? And it basically goes from here, and then it stretches back like this and comes up like this. It stretches down like this and comes up like this, and it stretches, here like this and comes down like this. So here's a muscle kind of just chilling all day long. You're like, yo, what up, dude? We're just hanging out here. And we go to the gym, we stretch it like this. It's like there's not much we want to get the fullness out of it. We want to stretch this thing to its max, and that means basically taking your reps that are, whether doing a fly or a press and getting all the way back, opening up, sitting in there for that stretch for about like at least 1 second to 2 seconds, and then fully coming all the way up. And that's going to help basically stretch the fiber and then, shorten the fiber. So you're like stretching it to the max and you're shortening it to the max. So doing that will help you build the inside of your chest.
And a fuller chest in general.
And a fuller chest in general, 100%.
What's your opinion on belt squat versus barbell squat?
Belt squat versus barbell squat. Belt squat allows you to get into the same position, right? You're just basically you're not loading your spine. So I can do the exact same thing. Yo, let's go on. Let's talk about this. All right. So here's what we're doing here. Set the barbell up. Here,
how about you?
What's your height?
Me?
Yeah.
Hold on. I have to go.
All right, give me that.
That should be okay.
Grab the bar. Give me this.
Oh, shoot. You good?
All right, so we're gonna go over this and give you guys.
Put that on.
I don't know, whatever. I think you are.
Huh? What did you say?
Sure. Good. Sorry, guys. We'll do this instead. So, give you guys an idea of do you need a wedge?
I haven't warmed up, so probably.
Just go and don't worry. Okay, so we're talking about like a barbell squat. It's basically like, if you look at it, so I'll give you guys just form-wise. Go do a squat. Just come off. So squat-wise, come back, and we get, right, hip and knee flexion. Try and go as low as you can. She can go a little lower. We're talking about like getting a little more flexion into her ankle. She's not warmed up, but basically, if you look at our center of mass, we have to basically come up. We have to be conscious of the weight over top of your shoulders, and then that weight coming down when you go all the way down, that we're balancing it by making sure the butt and the head are on an angle that keeps you balanced like this, right? So from here, that weight is being compressed in the spine, which is basically a lot more activation you have to have from your torso. You come up so you're not killing yourself, right? So we're getting a lot of activation from the torso. We're gonna still do that when we're doing belt squats, but the load primarily comes from here. Then when it comes to balancing the weight plus, loading the glutes properly on the way down, we have to make sure that this bar kind of sits right down. You're here, you can see from the top of the traps or from the bottom here, right straight down to our butt, and we're kind of out like this, and we have balance from here. Come off of that. When we do belt squat, you in? So put that on. So when we do a belt squat, we have we have the weight. Pull it back. There you go. Let's move this thing. So belt squat, we have now the weight is now sitting on her waist. So now her legs are able to do all of the work. They're going to do all the work in the first place. But there's not this compression of her. Why am I pointing at the screen?
I don't know.
We have this compression here. We don't have compression here on the waist, so we can balance easier from here. So getting down, we're doing the same thing. We can have an easier, more upright posture. We can get down a lot deeper, and we're loading the glutes and hamstrings just as much. Go back up. Oh, here we go. Oh, cool. Right. So same idea. We're still engaging the same muscles. The only difference is that we don't have to really worry too much about your upper body. We still are in terms of like making sure that we're engaged from here. I wouldn't even want Erica to do this way. I want to keep your elbows down almost. Like I would almost like push yourself down so we're tight here.
Oh, like,
so like
this,
a
goblet squat.
Even like we're doing a goblet squat. And from here, we're still able to load the glutes just as much. But we'll be able to do more weight from this, but there'll be a stronger carryover in strength from doing barbell because of having the weight up top here, then having to balance it, stabilization, all that good stuff. But you're still working the same amount of muscles, same group of muscles, just as you can load it more and isolate more, and you don't have to worry about the bar on your back, if that helps. Does that explain good? Whew. Let me bring it back up. Turn around.
I don't know how to do that. Okay, cool.
So that's the difference. There's like 95 questions now. How many?
You're good, you're good. Okay, how do you, oh come on, how do you deal with being so awesome?
Nice, thank you. I don't think about that, but I really appreciate it, I really do.
Rotator cuff exercises.
Okay, simple. My favorite one actually is this one. You can do it on the ground or on a bench. I recommend even sitting up on the wall. But you can be like this, right? Like this. Leg out like this. Take a light weight, because we're not using this to get stronger, right? Again, the more you do this even as warm up for that muscle, we can get it stronger, but don't go into this saying like, I want to get stronger, so we're using reps to get stronger. What we want to do is get a weight that we can not just let this fall down, controlling it all the way down from here, chest up, and then just pulling up and doing that. This is really good to help with your rotators, and you can get stronger on this, just like, doing this long enough. Like before, when I first started doing these, I used like an 8, and this 10 right now is fairly manageable, so I could probably do 15. But I wouldn't go in here trying to do like, if I'm doing this to do this exercise, it's not good. Doing but doing rotators like this is absolutely useless. Again, here there's no tension. This is basically more like a static bicep exercise. Whether you're doing this or this, it's not doing anything to rotators. I'm just challenging the muscle, the bicep like this. So if you can do stuff like this with the cable. And like, again, super light. You don't gotta do heavy, but something light from here and doing the same thing. We're just pulling out. My elbow's tucked in. If you need to have a little bit more space, you can put like a towel underneath your arm, chest up, sit here, and just pull out. Thumb up, and it's basically like you're hitchhiking, like this. So you have good tension from here. There's some other things too, like doing like overhead pass with the bands or a PVC pipe. Yeah, those are ones I like doing.
Hello, Johnny. Is decline, bench, dumbbell press a bad exercise if we have lower chest fat?
So, yes. I'm only saying yes because it's not going to do anything to your lower chest fat. What's going to do anything to your lower chest fat will be you reducing your over body fat by being in a deficit. And I would recommend looking at how much time you're moving. Anybody's going to ask that question today. It's going to be one of those like, lose fat things, and it's going to come up and it's completely fine. But before we ask the question, I want you to ask yourself first, how much am I actually moving outside of your resistance training? Because I know most people that are watching are training 100%, which is dope. But if we're looking at losing fat, If you're like, John, how to lose fat on my chest, or should I do this exercise? The exercise you should do to lose fat on your chest is make sure you're doing cardio. If you're not doing cardio and your first thing to do is cut out your calories, we're taking away fuel for you to help burn fat, right? It's way more efficient to move more than it's like dice out your food. Now, I'm not saying don't be in deficit through your nutrition. You should, but you should look at the other areas first. Are we moving as much? If the answer is no, then start cardio, and that's gonna be the exercise that helps you lose fat on your chest.
Please explain muscle tension and its relation to rest periods between sets, and also how moderate weight can induce hypertrophy.
I'm trying to, you kind of get a free, I'm gonna do the video anyway. I actually have a video on this. I do have a video on this talking head, which is fine, but I wanna do one anyway, another one. So basic tension works like this. There's obvious ways of tension. Number one, it's, and this is a good question too. Our bodies, understand this, guys. I'm gonna go real philosophical on you guys in a second. Your body does not know anything you're doing, right? Don't think that your body knows what you know. You know what you know. You're conscious of the environment, what you do. The only control you have is when you wake up, where you bring your body and how you feed your body. That's all you literally can do to your body. Everything else your body does for you. So your body only understands tension. It knows, the heart rate and what that does to the body in terms of signals and all good stuff. So when I'm coming to the gym and I lift up a 40-pound dumbbell, there's tension on my muscle. My body feels, my body senses, bing, 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 bing. There's tension all on this side of the body. It's not that much, but it's enough because my entire body's holding this. But the second I start to go like this, turn on, oh, there's more tension in my bicep, and then I start to curl, it's like, ooh, there's tensions in my bicep primarily. It's all here, right? Now, holding the weight, tension-wise, right now with this 40, let's just say there's like a graph or like a meter. The meter right now with the 40 pounds on my bicep is around like a 50% tension in terms of max tension, right? I'm gonna go over and grab the, Jesus, great. Ugh. I'm gonna grab the 80s, right? Right now there's more tension. My body's like, holy geez, there's a lot more tension. I go like this to try and curl. It's like, oh, this is at max tension. The tension in my bicep is at its greatest. There's nothing I can do. I cannot do a rep with this at all. So my body understands tension from this point to this point. When I'm doing a workout and I grab this 40 pounds and I start doing a bicep curl, I'm just doing this, right? Tension, say at that 50% mark, right? And then all of a sudden, the later into my set that I go, there's tension meters getting higher and higher and higher and higher. The only thing about that is, which benefits is, the longer the tension is, the greater it gets. The longer it can be under tension, the more muscle recruitment can happen. Picking this thing up, 100% muscle recruitment was there, but not there long enough for me to actually really grow muscle efficiently. I gotta find something in between this 40 and this 80 that I can take for a duration to increase tension over time so I can build muscle. So when you're doing your set, and I'm doing hypertrophy, and they're talking about, you're taking your set to whatever to failure, or the load you're using is anything between 30 to 85% of your 1 rep max, that means that whatever weight we can use, it's going to end up being at its max tension. So if I train to failure or 2 reps in failure, it's at max tension. So I do my set, bam, bam. I get to say 2 reps in failure, which is almost as good as failure, whatever. I put it down, tension meter is at 100, and then it starts to kind of decrease a bit. It's going down as I rest, tension starts to go back down. The body's not holding anything, it's starting to recover, and I'm gonna rest those at that 2 minutes. When I rested the 2 minutes, when I picked the 40 up, it was at 50% tension. I wanna pick that 40 up, and I want it to be at like 70% tension when I start. I'm just giving you an idea. So the next time I go, when I rest at 2 minutes, when I pick the weight up, tension's right back at the top again. And because there's a lighter weight, I can take that 70% tension, and I can continue that set longer, creating more time under tension. And then I rest. If I rest longer, that tension goes all the way back down to say 50, and sometimes if you talk long enough, it's probably around like, 2. Or just say when I started, it had to be 50. I said it was 50. So it's back down to base tension. and then I got to work my way all the way up again to get a max tension, right? So that's basically how tension and rest are like correlate to keeping the, I would say the maximum amount of muscle growth per set to set. Does that make sense? This is a good video. Damn it. We should record this. It's recorded.
It is.
We should record this. You know what I'm saying? Someone should put it on the live.
Somebody should turn it into a short. What is the best lat pull down bar? The one that comes at my pull down, sorry, my bad. Jeez. What's the best lat pull down bar? The one that comes with my pull down tower doesn't feel like it works my lats at all.
What?
He's saying that the bar that comes with his lat pull down doesn't work his lats at all. So which is the best one?
Only problem is I don't know what bar he's using.
I would assume like the straight one. What bar are you using, Josh?
I'm being facetious. It's definitely the facetious. Oh. It's definitely probably the straight. It's probably the where's that bar at? It's probably the bar that's your basic bar that's kind of like this. It's like this kind of a bar, right? Right? Perfect. Cool.
I would assume so.
If you can't feel your lats with this bar, it's not the bar. And I'm not being rude, it's you. You're not feeling, most people, they think it's the exercise, they think it's the handle, they think it's the grip, they think it's your ability to actually connect with your lats. So a couple things you can do if you're, having trouble with, engaging your lats. Let's just do this. Let's just say we're using this. Sorry guys, I don't have an actual pull down bar, but we're gonna use this instead and show you. Holy, do one of the things you do. All right. Erica, why don't you set up that, why don't you set up the, that, and I'll throw you under here real quick. All right, so I'm only putting on like, 3 pounds. Sorry, this is probably 80 pounds. Get under this like sit under it with your knees bent. Take it.
Oh shit! Sorry. Sit under it. How?
Sit on the ground. And grab a wider on the outside.
I think maybe he's gonna get in the way. Wider?
Yeah, on the other side. So hold like this.
Oh, way up. Oh.
Up there. There you go. It's not traditional, but whatever.
It's fine.
All right. So what we want to do is give me a sec. So right now, just to start. Eric, I want you just to raise your chest up. There you go. Right, just pulling your chest up, cave your chest in, and now raise your chest up. Right. Now do the same thing again when your shoulders are up. Just kind of do it and let your shoulders. Basically, let your shoulders, or I would say, cue this pull. This pull you should feel this coming from this. So all you do is you can let this come up because you're probably feeling that in the first place. She's gonna put her head look up a little bit. There you go. Now she's gonna pull her chest, her sternum up to the air like there's a hook on her chest, and that's gonna help pull. While she does this, you're gonna push your elbows down at the same time, trying to pull your chest to the bar first. Once you get that, you just learn how to do this first. Right? Most people that try to do this, they end up pulling their elbows right away. They end up doing this to try and pull it down. So we want to get your chest up, pull from here, and then you want to pull with your elbow. You want to think pulling this. And then on the way up, you want to feel it being pulled back from here and keeping that tension from here and then pulling again. Now, I want you to do the same thing again, Erica, but don't let your shoulders come up. So start from down. There you go. Now pull and let it come up. And when it's at its highest, you're going to keep your chest up. There you go, and it's gonna stay in. So learn to do that thing first. If she did the same thing and say, let's do underhand grip. And grab it earlier, the closest side here. Grab this one, it's easier.
This is good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so she does supinated grip. The difference is that instead of her shoulder coming down to the side, her scap's gonna retract a little more, but it's the same thing. You're gonna keep your chest up, Now when she pulls, you're still getting lat activation in both movements. We're just getting a lot more bicep help, traps, rhomboids, rear delts, and some lower lat as well too, and keep yourself up here. So we're still gonna do the same thing. You can see at the top, it looks the exact same way. The only difference is now we're getting a lot more, I would say, the lat activation, even though we're getting lat activation on the side too, plus the range of motion is greater. But try doing them both ways. But it doesn't matter what bar you use or what grip you use, you should be able to pull yourself down. So practice that first, and then you'll literally start to feel the weight or your back.
What is your thoughts on hybrid training, like weightlifting and cardio? I want to grow both my physique with weightlifting and have a good, healthy heart, healthy joints, and be flexible.
I love this. So hybrid training is a new thing, and I like it. But I don't want to be facetious. So I like it. You gotta understand too, though, that you have to make sure you're balancing them out properly. So 100%. So myself, here's my thing. You should be able to. Here's my rule in my head. As you know, if you can't start right now, it doesn't really matter, or if you're older, regardless. You should be able to sprint for 100 meters. I'm talking if you got to chase something full speed or run away from something full speed, you should be able to do that straight for 100 meters or 100 yards. After the 100 yards, you should be able to keep an easy pace, a nice pace for 5 kilometers. I don't know what it is in miles, but maybe it's 3 miles. I don't know. Either way, 5 kilometers, do the whatever. And then after that, you should be able to obviously be strong. You should be, this all at once, be strong, be able to defend yourself, right? And then obviously like all the other things like being mobile, whatever. I believe that. So that would be a hybrid, how to train for that would be like hybrid-ish. So hybrid-ish. So you want to make sure that you're, doing resistance training, whether you're doing periodization where you're, having some mesocycles or blocks where you're focusing on building muscle, because the most part we want to focus on building muscle. The byproduct of building muscle, progressive overload, is going to naturally make you stronger, right? We can't progress and increase our rep or weight on a week-to-week basis or whatever and not get stronger, right? So hypertrophy or building muscle, you will get stronger, and then you implement maybe a strength phase or mesocycle where you focus on being strong. And the being strong doesn't mean you have to do like a 1 rep max. The being strong could just be, instead of my rep being, let's just say we're doing push-ups, we're not doing that. Let's just say I'm doing bench, and my hypertrophy rep range is like, that 10 to 15 or 6 to 12, and it's a very, 1,001, 1,002, it's a stretch, a squeeze. It's these, really focused lifts. This way you're doing hypertrophy like this, right? And then your strength phase won't be I'm gonna load this thing up and I do, 1 rep max. It's gonna be more like, I'm gonna increase my weight. I'm gonna do maybe 6 to 8 reps. And my rep is like this. Or we are still focusing on controlling the eccentric, but being more explosive, and we can add more weight there. Doing that for like 4 to 6 weeks and flopping back to your hypertrophy, program that. While you're programming that, you can always do, I run once a week for 5 kilometers, once a week outside. The rest of that is indoor cardio. It's whether I'm doing like maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes of stepper or Stairmaster or whatever, and then I'll do that. And then, I don't sprint right now, but I do sprint and I can sprint. So I do other things as well too, but adding that in there as well too, to keep, maybe doing some intervals will help with that. So I think I think you can program it properly. We'll be very successful to make sure we're fueling ourselves. Make sure you're fueling yourself enough too, because you don't want to do that. If you're not fueling yourself, you will jeopardize losing muscle. So make sure you're eating 1 to 1 grams of protein per body weight. Also making sure 20 to 30% of your caloric intake will be from fats. And then, just keep your gut health healthy. For men, 35 grams of fiber, and for women, 25 grams of fiber. If you're not eating that, work your way up, because if you decide to just bang out 30 grams of fiber right now, shit, no pun intended.
To continue that with another question, what do you think of 12-12, 9-7 reps for a set to build muscle and strength?
Like I said, it's like like I said, when you're training, don't think reps. I understand there's a rep range, and that rep range, like that 12 rep range, 7 rep range. Yeah, those that can be completely different depending on how fast the rep itself is, right? So you can, like I said, you can get stronger by just progressively overloading with naturally, a building or hypertrophy. But if you're focusing on actually getting stronger, like you're trying to get, then you have to, program that a bit. But I think you can, I think you can literally get away with doing just what I said and not making it too complicated. Don't look at this rep range itself. Like there's not a strength rep range. Just think of the speed of the weight, the speed of the rep, right? And the duration of the set, if anything.
What shoes are those, and do they help with training?
These are, I'm not promoted by these guys. Good love. Hope you see this Vivo bare feet. So these are Vivo bare feet. They're bare feet shoes. The point of these is your feet are just like your hands expand, your feet should expand as well too. So most of us, our feet look like someone's doing gang signs. You look at your mom and daddy's feet. You know what I mean? They're all looking like the pinky toe and the big toe are looking at everybody else on the inside. That's basically what it looks like, right? So our shoes don't allow us to actually spread apart. And for the most part, a lot of times we have issues with our back and whatnot. You can literally go down to your feet. Now, using these shoes are gonna help with my training. Yes, but I wouldn't just start doing barefoot training. You still for this, using these, I still use a wedge if I'm doing lunges or squats because I still want to make sure that I'm getting a good deep, stretch, whatnot when I'm doing squatting movements. When it comes to just training overall and moving, yeah, for sure, because it helps my foot get stronger, I have more balance using these. But again, I would say putting them into your shoe game and then slowly building yourself into this and then wearing them more because they're just going to keep your feet more healthier when you're training. And I'm not saying you got to do this all the time, then wear these to the club or something because they don't look nice. You know what I'm saying? But either way, yeah, they do help with training for sure.
I always injure my lower back when doing standing barbell row. Can you give me some advice? I'm 40, natty. Thanks, mate. You the best.
Appreciate you. Standing barbell row. Let's demo this because I know exactly what's going on. Easy. Do you want me to demo this or?
Well, I don't know what you're about to.
All right, yeah, I'll demo it. Okay, so when people do standing barbell row, almost. When we're standing barbell row, we are still in man, my shoes aren't tied. Think about doing a standing bar, anything bent over is the same as standing barbell row, bent over barbell row, bent over dumbbell row, T-bar row, Romanian deadlifts are all in the exact same posture. Meaning we're gonna be hinged like this. And to make sure that we have a good line of force and we are working with our center of mass, meaning you're balanced. So right now I'm balanced being like this, right? And I wanna be like this when I'm balanced. As soon as I pick up weight, there's a weight transfer that I have to adjust my body in a way to make sure I'm still balanced. So if I do this, it's gonna eventually pull me forward. I do this, it'll pull me back. So I gotta kind of find my balance. So for the most part, the big mistake I see when people do bent over rows is that they're like this, they're kind of like this mostly, and they're like this. So one mistake is this and this, and then we get this, and we're lifting too heavy, right? We're not getting much tension or range of motion. Or we're down like this, but the weight's too far away, and then our back does this, and we're doing this, right? The most vulnerable position we're in right now, what's vulnerable on our body is our lower back. Because if you think about it, all of this is being supported by this, and we have this this and this is keeping everything in support from the weight pulling us down this way. So if we don't keep ourselves with our core engaged, while keeping our lats engaged a bit to keep ourselves, keep the tension or the line of pull the same, if we're out like this, or not engaging our core, lower back starts hurting.
Good.
We should literally cut these up. listen, guys, just so you guys know, guys, and the 3-4% of women that are probably watching this, I do this every weekend with my school community. Tons of unbelievable access to everything I'm doing in my school group. All of my ebooks, all of these, coaching up sessions and whatnot, coaching in your form. Join my school community. Let's keep going to questions.
Back to another lower back question. It says, I always injure my lower back. My lower back gets fatigued first when doing heavy squats. Is this a form issue or a core strength issue?
So it can be both, right? Your form could be great, and then your core not strong enough, or not engaged or not strong enough, right? So working on that for sure. And again, like if you're doing back squats.
It just says heavy squats. I'm assuming back squats.
Yeah, and again, heavy squats is it's unnecessary. Like I'm telling this right now because guys, like am I this video yet? It's not out. The Larry Wheels video is being edited right now, but should I wait? Anyway, I had the labrum surgery on my hip, right? And I wasn't lifting heavy at all last year. I wasn't. I was lifting properly. What came back to bite me on my ass was the 600 to 700 pound squats I would usually do. And I'm not a powerlifter. I've never done a powerlifting meet in my life, but I could have competed in powerlifting because I would have done very well. But I lifted powerlifting weight. I got videos of it. Go track me back. It's right there. I'm now paying for that. So if you are feeling pain in your core, that means that you can't control the weight that you're using. So you're forgetting about, or you're not able to engage your core, and or your form is being disrupted by the weight you're using, or your form isn't that good, and then combining that with a lot of weight. So anybody who's watching this, you shouldn't feel pain anywhere other than a pump in the muscle groups that you're isolating. If you're feeling pain in your lower back by doing any exercise, it is 100% a form thing. It's a core thing. It's a mobility thing. It's all those things that I can promise you, if you just look back into what you do on a day-to-day basis, those things are being affected by it. You're not doing those things.
Two things. Yes, he can go and show the proper form of the bent over barbell row because he didn't really do that. And how do you engage your core?
Okay, so easy one engaging core, guys, is basically everyone's done it. I'm gonna get graphic here. Maybe I don't want to say that because maybe it sounds like I'm on the one. What's the one?
The one where you're gonna punch somebody in the.
No. It's like you gotta take a doo-doo.
Oh.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You ever go to the washroom sometimes and like, you gotta go and you go, but there's some left, and then you know what I mean? And it wants to stay there. You know what I'm saying? It's that one piece that just doesn't come out, and you're like, oh, you know what I mean? You do your thing, you wipe it, and then it's like, oh, damn it, and you gotta sit on again. That literally is engaging your core. I'm serious. Like it's I get these cues and just like natural things. I'm not gonna be like, all right, guys, you want to feel your obliques and then you want to pull them in. And like it's almost like, dude, like you sneeze, you engage your core. You cough, you engage your core. If you say push or pull, you engage your core. All right. If I go like this, right? Or if your boy's gonna punch you in your stomach, you're gonna tighten your stomach up before you get your wind knocked out of you. So that's engaging your core. Doing that, look, as soon as I have a lower lordosis, which means I got a natural duck butt shape. I got a donkey butt. It just naturally sits like this, right? If I engage my core, if I go like this, watch. You see what happens? I push in tight and it pull my pelvis up a bit, right? And then if I do that, keep that engaged while I hinge, guess what happens? My back stays strong. Because when I engage this, people think that when they say engage my core, they're thinking all I mean is this is being activated. I'll show you guys from the back, and I can literally flex these simultaneously, but you look at my back, my erectors that I'm flexing right now, right? That is, I'm doing that by engaging my core. But this is what my core looks like when I'm doing that, right? You can't necessarily see what I'm doing there because I can just do that. It's weird, but I'm doing that along with this is allowing me to do this better. So when I engage, like flex my abs, my lower back gets tight, and when you flex your abs, you're flexing your back, your erector muscles as well too. And that's the thing that's gonna keep your torso. So think of it this way, guys. My lower back muscles, right? We used to call them power columns. They're sitting like alongside my spine, right? So you got these erectors that go into your traps. You got these pipes that go from all the way from here, and then your traps go all the way here to your back. You got that thing keeping yourself tight here. Then you have your lats that go from here, from your waist to your armpits,
Pull your
right?
shirt up so you can see what you're talking about.
What?
You just look like you're pointing at your shirt. You can't really see nothing. Also, Wranglerosaurus Rex, if you just send an email to the email on the website or hardcore.training02@gmail.com about your issues with the ebook, we'll get it sorted out for you.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so
There you go.
if you look at what's stabilizing my back, number one, I engage my core, I'm tight here, it flexes my spine. So my spine is already getting straight. While I'm flexing my back, my erectors, those muscles here, they come all the way up to here. So these muscles here to here, along with my traps, that mid trap to, lower trap, mid trap to upper trap, they're also kind of on the outside of my spine, right? So it's keeping it strong there. And then my lats, they connect to my hip, and then they pull me, and then they come all the way up to my armpits, and they basically connect to my arm, they pull my shoulder down like this. So if I flex my core and my lats by depressing my shoulders and keep my chest up, I have this really tight torso. I have this. So if I'm squatting, I'm doing the same thing. If I'm doing, if I'm curling, same thing. If I'm rowing, it's the same thing. So engaging that keeps this thing stiff. So when we're doing our bent over barbell row, I recommend doing them. I like doing them underhand. Just easier to get a little more range of motion. If I'm doing overhand, you can hit a little more of the rear delts, show the difference. But if I'm doing underhand grip supinated, I'm hinging back like I'm doing a RDL. So I'm doing an RDL and coming down, core is engaged, right from here. I'm almost sitting, I'm letting my hips almost sit on my thighs. That makes any sense. There you go. So I'm tight here, glutes are tight, core is engaged, and then I'm gonna let my arms kind of hang a bit because I want that full range of motion from here, and then we're gonna row, pulling the chest, shoulders here, right? We're doing this, scap retraction, and then pulling from here. And then down, open up, stretch, and pull, right? If I do overhand grip, we can do the same thing, right? Just gonna get a little more forearm help from there. But as well too, is we can also get a little more rear delts by flaying our elbows a little more, right? We can do it this way too and pull underneath, but it's easier to flare arms and really get the traps, rhomboids, rear delts, doing them overhand, underhand. We can get a little more from here, get a little more range from here, and pulling this way.
There's your guys' proper form demonstration also. 1 second. Sorry, I gotta scroll back up. Hey man, I have tendinitis on both shoulders and both my elbows are starting to hurt. What tips can you provide?
Well, it's not like a broken record, but I'd make sure we're doing some good mobility exercises for your shoulders. So, doing shoulder circulation, articular rotations, circular articular rotations. So basically doing this, little things like this, wake up in the morning, open up your hand here with your thumb pointing up. When you get to the side of your body, we're gonna open that thumb up. We're gonna twist it to the front and then to the back and reaching back and come back to the front like this. Do 5 reps of this to help, doing some stuff to help with your mobility and strength of your rotators, and then, make sure you go through full range of motion, but resting enough, make sure you eat enough food to help with recovery, and make sure you're going to physio.
For someone who is lean but needs work on hamstrings, is 2 hamstring exercises on intense leg days necessary? I currently just started hitting legs twice a week and only doing lying down hamstring curls.
So your conditioning, whether you're lean, your body fat percentage has nothing to do with how many exercises you should do for a lagging muscle group. What's important is that you don't overtrain the muscle group. So if you're hamstrings are lagging, or I'm assuming you're saying because I'm small, I'm leaner, I don't grow as much. How many exercises should I do? I would say understand that each muscle group probably does around 1 to 3 things. So we don't have to do a bunch of exercises. If you're gonna do just one isolating move for your hamstrings, lying hamstring curls is a really good, lying hamstring curls or kneeling hamstring curls or seating hamstring curls are a really good isolator. That's the only thing working in that exercise. Doing that along with like doing, say like any of those versions of hamstring curls with an RDL would be good. I would say like those are 2 really good if you're just trying to focus on hamstrings. You can do that. Say like if you're doing like a hamstring emphasis day for legs, I would do like squats. I would open up with say like lying hamstring curls or whatever kind of hamstring curl isolation. A hip and knee flexion exercise would be squats, hack squats, goblet squats, belt squats, whatever kind of squats, and then finish off with like a RDL, and that'll be a good hamstring day.
There you go. How do I build big legs without squats?
Easy. So again, I would say make sure we're doing our isolation movements. So leg extensions are your one very good isolation for quads. Any type of version of hamstring curls, again, lying, seated, or kneeling. And then you can do without doing squats.
Yeah.
So back squats are just any type of squat movement.
I think just squats in general.
Okay, squats in general, then we can do leg press, which is good. And then I'm assuming if you're up, maybe if you can lunge, and that could be that's a really good movement for building your glutes and your hamstrings and your glutes and quads. So lunge variation of some sort that doesn't have any pain in your back. I'm assuming it's a back thing or maybe anything, I don't know.
I tore my labrum and need an alternative.
Don't say that. You probably talk. Wait. What labrum? What labrum are we talking about?
Wait.
Don't say leg. Don't say hip. Don't say hip. Don't say hip. Don't say hip.
You didn't say anything yet. Just keep
Tell me
going.
what kind of labrum. So yeah, I would say do no squats. Period. So you could probably do lunges, leg extensions, hamstring curls, and leg press, and then you have to watch the range of motion. I'm assuming if it's your labrum.
This just says squat and bench press, please. I'm struggling to execute those perfectly. I'm assuming what the form looks like.
Squats and bench
press?
press?
Says squat and bench press, please. I'm struggling to execute those perfectly.
Can we do I guess I gotta go on the...
Come over here?
No, because it's not gonna... I'm assuming it says bench presses, it means probably barbell.
Probably.
And there's a little different not variation, but there's a difference in doing Smith than it is. All right. I'm sure you're gonna be on a bench that has, I was on a slight 15-degree incline. It's gonna be the same rules, same fundamentals. So I'll assume your setup's gonna be pretty okay. I would say make sure, if you're wrong by your shoulders, when you're unracking, you just pull it up. We just wanna be able to do that. We wanna be able to have our shoulders up, shoulders back, and feet on the floor. You can be a little bit underneath our knees, flex our glutes. We're gonna have a little bit of an arch in our back naturally, but again, keeping the core engaged, right? So flexing the core, so our lower back that's basically being on this arch isn't just sitting there. Because again, there's tension that's coming from this pushing us this way and the ground pushing us this way, right? So Anyway, opening up, we want to be like, I would say a little bit outside shoulder width. I like kind of doing like the thumb. There's a smooth part here. At the beginning of the rough, I got my thumb here and here. That's my width, right? From here, then I'm gonna just push it up and over. It's gonna be over my chest. And then on the way down, really, don't flare the elbows this way. You're almost trying to, I would say, bend the bar a bit. Like I'm trying to bend it this way. So I'm doing this. And then chest is up. And then I'm basically riding it down with my elbows staying underneath my fists. From here, opening it up, from chest up, and then pressing up. You don't have to do this where there's this like weird arch like this. You don't. You could be like this. Your chest is gonna stay up. You're gonna let the elbows sit underneath the fists on the way down, controlling the weight from here. You can see where my elbows are, right? From here. I'm not resting it, I'm still engaged, and then pressing up. Right? That's it. Chest up, press. Press. There's your form.
Squat.
Go ahead.
Talk through it.
All right, squat form, guys. So I'm assuming, are we talking about barbell squats?
I would assume so.
Yeah. Squat and bench press. Okay, so let's get the grab those wedges. Actually, those are big wedges. There's smaller wedges in there. All right, so what we want to do is actually, no, go from the, yeah, no, I'll go this way.
This way? Why don't you do from slightly on
yeah.
the side? Oh, okay.
I just want to just bring it up far enough just because, so you can see all the way around. Yeah. So guys, don't mind the setup. We're just doing this so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Go back even further. I just want to show a little bit of the front.
But it's going to be on the, okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
All right, so setting up, guys, you can, feet-wise, we can be, you know, what's comfortable, right? So it doesn't have to be this, give me a sec. There's no rule of thumb of where your feet should be, but there should be, they shouldn't be super wide because the wider you go, the harder it's gonna be for you to actually externally rotate your knees, right? So you wanna be like, I would say like outside hip width, right? So inside, so look at your inside of your heels. We're measuring that hip width from the inside of your heels, not the outside, right? So hip width would be, you can see where her heels are? Perfect, that's where yours is good.
Oh, okay.
From here. And then now when she's squatting, we wanna make sure when she's doing that before she starts that your knees stay aligned with your toes. So we're gonna externally rotate like that. Basically pretend you're trying to rip a piece of paper open with your feet. You can do that motion from there, right? Your toes are gonna be around like 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. We don't have this over, you know, externally rotated duck foot thing. You don't need that. Just be a little bit like this, comfortably from there. All right, grab the bar.
Slightly in more.
All right, grab the bar. Your bar wise, when it comes to putting the bar on the thing, you guys are talking about the bar, don't worry about that.
What?
Just,
okay.
Yeah, just get it off. When we want to have the bar, so it's at least like right here. Like you see the traps are right here, and they're gonna sit like right at the lower part of the upper trap to right by the rear delt shelf, I would say, right? You can do lower. Powerlifters go a little bit lower, right? Again, you're not a powerlifter. This is like your happy medium. The reason why we don't want to go so far up because it's gonna put too much pressure on your neck, and you're not doing this weird thing that she's doing with her neck. All right, go back. Unrack, sit back. So yeah, sorry, you gotta walk. We're not gonna set it. You're not gonna set up this far back. We're just doing this so you guys actually can see.
Probably want to go from the other side because of the light.
Yeah. So again, opening up hips, right from there, chest is gonna stay up. You wanna make sure the lats engaged, but you're gonna push your elbows down a bit so you have a nice tight torso. So we want, if you look at her back's tight. Good. And then from there, hips and knees are gonna break at the same time. From this side. Go down, keep going. And keep the chest up. Good, and up. So when I mean hips and knees break, it means like, it's not gonna be hips first, the knees, don't do the hip and knee thing. Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want knees first, then hips. We don't want that. We want the hips to go, we want the butt to go one way and the knees to go the other way at the same time. That's what's lowering you down while you keep your chest up as high as you can. If you can't do a squat that looks like this, use a weight that you can perform like this. That's it, right? If you can do this, if your form looks similar to this, again, everyone's structured differently, but if you go down and your back is all jacked up, do a jacked up back the other way.
Like this way or this way?
That way. If we're doing this, if you're going down like this, you're not squatting. Stop squatting. Learn how to do a squat properly first. Now go back, grab that 50 or the 40. We're just gonna bring ourselves back to the goblet squat. Grab the 40 there. You wanna set it up, grab the 80 first, but I grab the 80 and set it up. All right, so here's our hack setup for doing goblet squats. You put the bar on. If you haven't seen this video yet, guys, the video was out last week. So check it out. You get on here. We get underneath. This is a great exercise because with this exercise is going to allow us to get into a good position like that while we not only let our legs get strong, we're getting our torso strong too. So you're going to get down, underneath, hands going to cup underneath. You got that weight's going to naturally depress the shoulders. It's going to let the elbows hit down, like push down, chest up. And then she's right at depth and she can squat from here. And we want that to happen. This is what we want to do from here. If we can't squat with our bar in our back with good form, we're doing this to start until we're strong enough. And from there, then we go to the bar. But if you want to look at, let's do a front squat. All right, front squat, basically underneath. Want to be here. Elbows are going to stay like this, and we're going to go underneath, elbow, under, weight on top, elbows up, like so. You're going to walk back, go all the way back. You're going to have this thing set up naturally in the rack. We'll just kind of give you guys an example. Same idea, but the front squat is going to allow us to do the same, because it allows us to be as upright as the goblet squats. So if you have the mobility to do this, I'd recommend learning how to do front squat. Great exercise to do. She's not holding the weight up with her hands. She's holding the weight up by her elbows, or her arms are extended, right? They're up like this and straight. So when you're doing this, you want to think elbows up on the way up and up on the way down. That keeps your arms parallel to the ground, because if your the elbows start to dip, then your body's going to start dipping down like this. So when you keep your shoulders up like this. If you can't do that way, then we can do the cross the arm thing where you do this. And we can be this way and do that. Same thing, same rules apply. The elbows are going to stay straight in the air or parallel to the floor. Right? And you can do that way as well too. Hope that works. All right. Cool. Any tips on Terry's major pain? Get a massage, stretch, 100%. Did you ever had elbow pain? Lots of times. That's from loading way too much, and referral pain from my shoulders, from shoulder issues. If I'm doing supersets 3 to 4 times a week, do I have to do cardio? Yes, supersets are not cardio. Supersets, your cardio is not resistance training. Resistance training, your heart rate beating and getting exhausted from doing supersets is not anywhere near the same as doing cardio. The reason being is you can't keep your heart rate the same rate as it was in a superset at the same duration you keep your heart rate when you're doing cardio. So unless you can keep your heart rate at that superset pace for an hour straight, which you're not, it's not the same.
What is a great exercise that will get you cut up forearms?
Get cut forearms?
Yeah, forearms.
Good exercise for forearms. You can do cables. You want to focus on just doing one arm, right? You can do them standing if you want. You can do them seated. But basically you can do like this, right? And this, boom, like this. You can do it like this, same thing. Just pulling in. You can do it on the ground if you want to, like this, and just either pull in this way. You can pull in this way. I like doing it this way more, right? You can really do this, and you can, if you want to, grab the straight bar attachment and do the same thing like this or the other way. I like doing it preferably like this. You also do with a barbell as well too, free weight, and just kind of do one of these, or just actually standing up with a barbell and just going from here and rolling it down and pulling up like that. And some hammer bicep curls.
Sorry. How do I get abs without having to do sit-ups?
You can get yourself in a deficit, lose some body fat, and you'll see the abs, but if you want to make them more pronounced, it's the same thing as it'll be the same idea as that approach would be the same as for most people when they decide to lose or get in shape, they lose body fat first, and then they want to add muscle. And then at the end of that journey, they're discouraged because they lost all this weight, but now they don't have any real muscle to show. So I would 100% still do abs. You only do them like 3 times a week. Do them until they're sore. Grab my ebooks, there's a bunch of explanations in there, examples that are in there. And, it's like, at some point, you have to understand that none of this is going to be easy. Like, that's one thing you have to understand. There are 0 shortcuts when it comes to any of this. If you have a goal and it's to build a muscle, is to lose, for most part, maybe you guys do, but there's a vision or a goal. Or like there's definitely a goal, but maybe there's an image of what you want to achieve and what you want to look like. Understand that goal is going to take work. Some's going to be fun and enjoyable when it comes to pumps and going to the gym. Some's going to be monotonous like cardio, whatever, but you have to just acknowledge and just accept that there's no shortcuts. If you want nice abs, do the hard stuff. Read the rewards. You'll appreciate it that much more.
That's 63 minutes.
Cool.
We're gonna do one more?
One more.
Proper form for dumbbell delt raises. So like lateral raise. He says, like full range of motion. Is there a correct way to perform? I'm not sure I'm doing them correctly.
Okay, so just so you can, what's necessary, I'll show you a few ways. All right, and we'll do them standing, because you can do the same thing seated. Only difference is when you're seated, you're not using any momentum, basically. Either way, we want the arms you don't have the arms to go sideways like a T. They can be like this, a slight angle like this, right? There's not just your front delt and side delt and rear delt. There's not just 3 of them. If you look at my arm, you can see, maybe I'll use a little definition there. You can see there's like a lot of little guys, right? That go all the way back. So this angle is gonna stimulate just as much as this angle, right? Yes, if I go in front more, it's gonna be primarily in the front, but again, we can be slightly angled to here, right? Now, when it comes to range of motion, if you wanna get the best out of it, for most people what's necessary is we can get here to here. This is necessary. This is fine. This height is good. From here, all the way down, and all the way up to here is good. Here is good as well too, but if you want to get the most out of a dumbbell exercise, then bring them up a little higher. Reason is because down here, like from here to here, there's nothing really happening. So we're gonna take what's not really happening down here. Let's see the range. Look at the triangle that I've created between my armpit, right? From here to here, there's no tension on my delts. So we're gonna take that amount and we're gonna put it, instead of it being here, like down there, we're gonna put it up here. So we're just extending it from here, and that gives you a nicer range of motion, right? Do we have to come all the way up and do this? You can, but it's not necessary.
Perfect.
All right. appreciate you guys for coming. We are here every Monday, and if you want more exclusive, more intimate with myself and the rest of some awesome, fitness enthusiasts like yourself, join the school community. It's $25 a month. All the things I put out in terms of my ebooks and new ebooks and new training and videos, whatnot, they get it first, and then it goes out to the rest of you guys. So also I help coach up your form as well too, and all the jazz. So join the community if you want to. In the meantime, guys, just watch videos, grab the ebooks, whatever. But either way, here every Monday, videos Tuesday to Saturday at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. What?
Yes, he is now natural. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. It was the last.
Am I what?
Says, no offense, but are you natty?
I am natty now, right? I have not used steroids, pro-hormones, SARMs, peptides, growth hormone, testosterone, literally nothing since October 2021. But before that, I used steroids for 8 years. There you go. Anyway, guys, till next time, it is iron sharpens iron, progressive overload life. In the meantime, I'll keep June chasing. Have a good week. Peace.